From sea to sky, astrology. I'm reaching my arms up in the air. You're welcome to do so too. It feels really good right now. I'm going to talk a little bit about January 28th, 2026. Our moon, Luna, will be in her second phase, and Gemini will be her sign. A nice busy sign full of communication, quicksilver. I always see I'm going to take my arms down. Mercury just flying through the air when I think of Gemini with those little shoes with the wings. And yeah, it's the mind, communication, the hands, siblings. There's all these kind of interesting little aspects to Mercury, and Mercury rules Gemini, I should say. So Gemini is different. Gemini is similar to Gemini is Castor and Pollux, the twins. So kind of like the Janus god, one side is one way, one side is the other way. So there's a bit of doubling down or paradoxical aspects to Gemini too. And because sometimes we'll feel the moon as our emotions, you may feel quite a lot happening in your mental body. I want to note that I'm a student of body mind centering, have been now for more than 20 years, which is sort of remarkable to me. The way we receive information in our body is it first finds our gut instinct. And I say gut instinct because our gut and our gut instinct actually go together. It's considered one of the clairs, the gut instinct. Then the information comes up to the heart, which is full of neural activity, and then it comes up to the mind. So when we speak of mind, are we thinking of the brain and the head, or is it gut to heart to head? And as Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen has posited, is mind also all over the body? At any rate, Gemini, ruled by Mercury, is very much about thinking. So Moon, Luna is in sign all day, which is terrific. And then we've got Luna in a trine with the Sun, Mercury, and then Venus, which is just super lovely. That harmonious 120-degree, the one and the two, the 12 even has a harmony. It's got the trinity of the three, the stability of the tree, and it's a 12-day numerologically. So there's a lot of softness there. It may feel quite sweet. We've had a really big week. We've got Neptune moving into Aries and Mars and Pluto conjuncting and all that's happening in the world. I just had a neat experience. I was able to take in a TED talk by Tarmo Jüristo. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He seems to be Estonian, I believe, but the talk was all about how in the 16th and 17th century, when the printing press came around and we couldn't control information the way we had up until then, curated typically by religious orders, it just blew everything open. And he frames the whole talk around this painting that a man had that has an angel that's looking backwards at all the stuff that's changing and disintegrating, moving about. And instead of looking at the past, that angel could be looking forward at the future. And then I read this lovely astrologer, Kevin Garland, whom I adore. He just posted on Substack, and I read his post, and it was from a deep dive he did with this transit of Neptune moving into Aries. And somehow it all just came together for me, and I felt inspired, still do, to imagine the future. And an aspect of both what Kevin shared and also this man Tarma is that we're not sure what's around the bend. We might have some ideas about what's on around the bend, but what we are imagining and discussing and realities that we're processing in some ways together, ritualistically, in this case, more on our phones, watching our YouTubes or whatever we happen to be doing, um, we are in some ways bringing it forth together. And this transit with Neptune is long, arguably a generation. It's not till 2038, I believe is the year. I could do the math, but it's basically 13 more years. And it's a bit of a jaunt. Generations say 20 years, and we haven't been this way before. We had a moment of a hello because Neptune was in Aries this summertime, but who knows exactly what we're in for. And I just want to end by saying something akin to what I so strongly believe in that I also think feeling and observing the falling apart, and even when it's the deepest forms of suffering, that also has merit. So not looking away has a value too. We can learn from it, and particularly so in that bodhisattva way where we see another's suffering, and because of our biology and our mirror neurons, we sense it as our own, and empathy is immediately born. For many, there's some people who've been desensitized from empathy, but many of us have not. And in some cases, it's really strong. So as we observe each other in this time and reach out, I always default to the public advocate sworn in January 1st and Zoran Mamdani's administration, the mayoral administration in New York City. I just talked about, look at your neighbor, put your hand on their back, figure out who they are, lock arms. And neighbors can be all over the world, and we still may have all these different realities. We might have overlapping timelines and just have completely different perspectives. We might not be attuned to the same frequency, listening to a completely different radio station, but we still may be able to have a connectivity and a sense of belonging with them. So I believe the solar system deities have given us this day, Woden's day, Mercury's day, Wednesday, the 28th of January, a 12 day, as I mentioned, to help us remember that a little bit after these big events that we've had, again, within the solar system above, but then very much also on Earth, and then going into the deep quanta inside of ourselves. And with that, I bid you adieu. A little call for action, or is a call to action. I wanted to note that if you're in the United States, and you're up for it, go ahead and go to your reps and senators' websites, fill out the form, write them an email. Alternatively, you can call. The emails are quite effective. And I've been writing, composing them on various issues, and I put them typically on wherever my social media happens to be. So you're welcome to check it out, or you can just go for it on your own. So it's a call to action. You don't necessarily have to write about it in the comments if you feel like it, and that benefits you, and the connectivity benefits you, go for it. Like Sting sang during the Cold War when it was really USA versus Russia, in the Cold War, he sang a song, The Russians Love Their Children Too, if the Russians love their children too. And while there's some kind of lost souls out there and some, bad actors, as we can definitely see people that you want to walk back away from, not have in your world because there's a toxicity. You also may find that these people have loving hearts and things that they value too. So All right, I'm starting to go off now. Thanks for being here and best wishes in these days and these hours. Let's stay awake and alive and keep our eyes open towards the future, staying in present time, giving yourself a breath, doing what feels right. Take good care. Yours and carrying the light. I forgot my last line. I was gonna sort of read as a blooper, but I'll keep it in. Okay, bye.